Hey, everybody. My name is Ross Brooks. I currently work at Tallahassee Community College as part of the Academic Affairs Administration. So I'll approach this week's discussion board responses through that lens. Thanks to Jarrell for putting our discussion board together this week. I think these are really robust questions and really challenge me to think about some things as far as the content in this class. So jumping right in with mission statements, I think BSU's mission statement is fairly robust. I do think there are some changes that could be implemented to improve this statement, possibly. One thing to note is that Dickinson says that colleges should enunciate in their mission statements the specific ways they fulfill their most essential purposes. This was toward the end of chapter 3. So I thought this was somewhere that the BSU mission statement could improve upon. It does say that they expand opportunities for students, employees, and varied communities members. But how do they expand those opportunities? I think that could be something that we could dive deeper further into. Dickinson noted in chapter 3 that you want your mission statement to be an operating mission statement where there's a purpose, where you're always working towards something. And a few areas that Dickinson noted that we could add to mission statements. We're talking about career preparation, transmitting culture and civilization, and critical thinking. So adding some things about, how does BSU add this into their mission statement could be an area to improve upon. One example that I liked that was given in the book, so on page 52, was a sample mission statement. It says, as a community of learners, we must continue to emphasize and enhance the following defining characteristics of the university: excellence, innovation, integration of liberal arts and sciences and professional education, distinctiveness, interdisciplinarity, global and international knowledge, ubiquitousness, lifelong learning, responsiveness, centers of excellence, and values. So I think that's a fairly robust mission statement. To compare to Tallahassee Community College's, TCC's mission statement. The mission statement is fairly short. It says, the mission of the college is to provide a learning environment that prepares students for success in a global economy by offering higher education pathways, workforce opportunities, and civic engagement experiences. And I think this is more of an operating mission statement. There are these verbs that we're preparing students for success in the global economy. We're offering these different pathways. And then there's some strategic priorities that are listed after that: student access, student success, demand-driven programs, technology, talent, stewardship, partnerships, things of that nature. And this mission statement was adopted back in 2013. So just some history there. Now, as far as our second question goes about, what constitutes a program on a college campus, again, I think this was a great question. I enjoyed reading this part of the text and exploring this again for this discussion post. But I really like how Dixon lays out 10 criteria to use when you're trying to gauge, what should be considered a program. And those are on page 66. You want to look at the history, development, expectations of the program, external and internal demand, quality of the program inputs, quality of the program outputs, size, scope, productivity of the program, revenue generated, costs and other expenses associated with the program, the impact and overall essentiality of the program, and opportunity analysis of the program. So I would, definitely follow these. I think there's a good resource in the back where there are samples of some colleges and what they've done with each of these parts as they went through the criteria to determine what their programs are. But in the case where I run into a program that's not very successful, I would definitely use all of these 10 to evaluate that program. But 5 of these really stuck out to me as far as what would be important. And maybe it's just because I'm a math person. I taught statistics formerly. These are all data driven. They're all hard numbers that you can quantify. There's no subjectivity to it. And so those 5 that I would really focus in on are external demand, internal demand, the size, the scope, the productivity of the program, the revenue generated, and I would do an opportunity analysis for a struggling program. So when you're talking about external demand, you want to see what is the attractiveness of this program to students coming in, to students you already have there? What jobs are available to students? How are we marketing this program? What are competing institutions doing if they have a similar program, or did they formally have this program and they cut this program? So I would want to look externally to see, well, what's going on associated with this particular program. Then internal demand, some hard data on past enrollments compared to current enrollments. Are we seeing a decline? Is this what's been typical? Is there actually a slight uptrend? And could be majors, could be minors, and maybe this is a relationship to other programs. For example, at TCC, we have a biology program where we have a ton of students come through and they take biology courses, but they're not necessarily biology majors or biology minors, but they're just trying to satisfy their science credits for their AA degree before they transfer. So even though it's a small program, it would be something that we'd want to keep around because it is valuable. As well, the size, the scope, the productivity. You want to look at hard data for students, faculty, credit hours in a particular program, the revenue that generates. Is it a costly program to run, or is it fairly inexpensive? From there, go to the revenue generated specifically from enrollment and fundraising. If it's a program and there's a generous donor out there who wants to donate money to this particular program, even though it may not be popular, that's another conversation entirely. It may be a family legacy. It may be a business that they're trying to grow this. So it may be having a conversation with those donors to see, where do we go from here? We notice this program is struggling. What can we do to possibly build this back up? And that moves into the opportunity analysis. Could we increase marketing? Is that something we should do? Or is it possible to combine this with another program, to absorb it into another department with a similar mission, with similar content that it teaches? Could the faculty who are in this program possibly move over into a different department? I think the last thing you want to do is cut positions. So those are my thoughts as far as, what constitutes a program and how to go about improving a program that may be struggling. One interesting note, just as a side note, I did enjoy the table in the book where it talked about the changes in majors over the years. And I was so surprised to see that 14% drop in education from the initial study to current day. I think that speaks a lot to our current teacher shortage. So thanks so much and have a good day.